Today, we delve into the scorching hot topic that has ignited a firestorm of controversy in the Sunshine State. We'll be talking about Florida's controversial immigration law and its far-reaching implications for the economy and job market. With one of the strictest laws in the nation taking effect just a few days ago, Florida finds itself at the center of a heated debate that could reshape its economy and job market in ways we've never seen before. The law, aimed at cracking down on illegal immigration, has already set off a chain reaction, with migrant workers fleeing the state in droves. And it's this exodus that is now fueling concerns of a looming labor shortage. Advocates of the law argue that will not only help expel the recent influx of immigrants, but also deter any future arrivals. They claim it will open up more job opportunities for citizens and individuals lawfully residing in the country. At the other end of the coin sit the critics, who vehemently assert that the new law will come at a staggering cost to the state's economy, potentially tallying up billions in lost revenue. They argue that the harshest penalties within the legislation are unlikely to be enforced effectively, leading to an even murkier situation. So, where does the truth lie? What are the implications of this polarizing immigration law on Florida's economy and job market? To truly grasp the profound impact of Florida's controversial immigration law, let's take a closer look at its core provisions. First off, this law, which officially took effect on July 1st, 2023, places newfound responsibilities on hospitals. They are now required to collect information on the immigration status of patients. Penalties are being established for employers who hire undocumented immigrants, adding a significant layer of scrutiny to hiring practices. Every employer with 25 or more employees now faces expanded employment verification screening requirements, ensuring that legal status is thoroughly examined. Out-of-state driver's licenses held by undocumented immigrants will also be rendered invalid. The law allocates increased funding to relocate or bus migrants to other parts of the United States, potentially shifting the burden to different communities within the country. And the authority of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the FDLE, is being expanded to carry out immigration enforcement. One of the most significant impacts is expected in Florida's agriculture, construction, and hospitality sectors. These industries heavily rely on immigrant workers, and the inability to utilize this vital workforce will undoubtedly deliver a seismic blow to the state's economy and job creation, especially since it's no secret that Florida is already grappling with a widespread labor shortage, further intensified by the historically low unemployment rate of just 2.6% as of April. Undocumented workers have become an indispensable part of Florida's labor market. According to the Migration Policy Institute, the state is now home to nearly 800,000 unauthorized individuals, illustrating the substantial role they play in supporting the local economy. To put the potential consequences into perspective, an economic impact study on E-Verify, an employment verification system, estimated that Florida's construction industry alone could lose around 54,000 jobs. Now, this industry is already scrambling to train workers to meet the demands of the colossal $2.1 trillion infrastructure bill approved at the federal level in 2021. The pressure is on and the stakes are high. According to the Florida Policy Institute, the state's most labor-intensive industries could potentially lose 10% of their workforce if undocumented workers are excluded. It's a staggering statistic that holds immense consequences, not only for businesses but for the entire state. Consider this: such a substantial workforce reduction would result in a colossal drop of $12.6 billion in Florida's GDP within a single year, equivalent to around 1.1% of the state's total economic output. The repercussions are far-reaching, affecting workers' spending power and leading to a decrease in state and local tax revenue. The economic ripples extend further than we could have anticipated. Even before the implementation of this immigration law, Florida employers in construction, restaurants, landscaping, and various service sectors were already grappling with job vacancies in the wake of sustained low unemployment rates following the pandemic. The new limitations on immigration will only exacerbate this challenge, intensifying the struggle to fill essential positions. An enlightening study conducted by the Center for American Progress, a liberal policy group, found that immigrants play a crucial role in meeting labor needs without displacing US-born workers from employment opportunities. In fact, they contribute to the economy by paying taxes while remaining largely ineligible for most federal public benefits. It's a delicate balance that is now at risk of being disrupted. Another concerning reality is daily demands are becoming increasingly challenging to meet. Reports have been surfacing of workers already making the move to other states like Illinois and North Carolina, seeking more welcoming opportunities elsewhere. This mass exodus poses a significant challenge for Florida, a state already heavily reliant on foreign workers to sustain its economy. Florida currently holds the distinction of being the state with the highest number of H-2A visas, accounting for 12.3% or 25,451 of the total visas issued by the US Department of Labor. These visas enable employers to bring in foreign workers for temporary agricultural jobs, a sector that heavily depends on immigrant labor. In fact, over 80% of H-2A visas in the entire country are granted to farm workers for crops and plant nurseries. The construction industry, on the other hand, relies primarily on the H-2B visa program. However, the demand for these visas has already exceeded its cap of 33,000 nationwide for the second half of the fiscal year, as reported by the US Department of Homeland Security. An additional 64,716 visas were made available to businesses citing irreparable harm if they cannot hire H-2B workers. This includes an allocation of 20,000 visas specifically reserved for workers from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Despite these efforts to address labor shortages, employers in Florida still find themselves struggling to find enough workers to replace the immigrants who have already left. This predicament creates a double disadvantage for employers. Not only is it increasingly challenging to find available workers, but the few who are available are now demanding higher wages, driving up the costs of labor. The ripple effect is significant. The increased costs incurred by employers end up being passed down to consumers, who may have to bear the brunt of rising prices for goods and services. So, what does the future hold for Florida's economy? Will businesses find innovative solutions to bridge the labor gap and stabilize their operations? Or will the state witness a broader exodus of workers and potential impact on its overall economic health? As our exploration continues, a tangled web of arguments and counter-arguments begin to emerge. One critical debate centers around the efficacy of the E-Verify requirement and its impact on unauthorized workers and unlawful immigration. One key reason is that undocumented individuals often seek employment in cash-based transactions, evading any paper trail altogether. This under-the-table economy allows them to navigate around the E-Verify system, rendering it ineffective in curbing unauthorized employment. Another flaw lies in the limitations of the E-Verify system itself. It does not cross-reference against death records, providing an avenue for individuals to deceive the system by using social security numbers belonging to deceased individuals. This loophole undermines the efficacy of the system and raises doubts about its ability to effectively address unlawful immigration and unauthorized employment. In fact, advocates for Florida's immigrant community assert that this new law has left a bitter taste in the mouths of many, tarnishing the state's reputation as an inclusive and welcoming place. The consequences ripple beyond just the economic impacts, painting a broader picture of societal divisions and strained relationships. Folks like Peter Daiger, President and CEO of the Associated Builders and Contractors Florida East Coast chapter, offers an alternative perspective. He emphasizes that a clear approach is necessary to address the issue, either prevent individuals from entering the country or authorize them to work. The current situation, where unauthorized immigration persists while job authorization remains limited, is a double-edged sword that undermines both sides. Florida's controversial immigration law might not single-handedly cause the state's economy to crumble, but it has undeniably stirred up anxiety within undocumented families and cast a cloud of uncertainty over key industries in the job market. If you found this video informative and eye-opening, like it and share it with others who might benefit from this discussion. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode.